22% of the time spent online is attributed to social networking sites. Social media has become a huge part of our global culture, with some 56% of Americans having profiles on a social networking site, and over 1 billion Facebook profiles in existence. This relatively new medium has altered our daily life in incredible ways, but perhaps not all of those changes are beneficial. Many people use social media as an extension of their daily personal interaction. But many of these people do not realize that social media sites act more as a public forum than they do a private setting, and they reveal intimate thoughts and secrets that aren't welcome for all eyes. Facebook inhibits our ability to cultivate different personas for various social circles and settings. In his piece, "The Web Means the End of Forgetting," Jeffrey Rosen explains how the web, with its promise of anonymity, allowed people to create all kinds of various identities. But, he says, the hope that we could carefully control how others view us in different contexts has proved to be another myth. As social networking sites expanded, it was no longer quite so easy to have segmented identities. Now that so many people use a single platform to post constant status updates and photos about their private and public activities, the idea of a home self, a work self, a family self, and a high school friend self has become increasingly untenable. Many people have been put under pressure to accept parents or other family members as friends on these accounts. This situation puts pressure on people to try to reconcile the language and manner that they use to interact with their friends with the language and manner they use around family, with varying levels of success. As Dana Boyd states in her piece, "Why Youth Part Social Media," how can they be simultaneously cool to their peers and acceptable to their parents? For the most part, it is not possible. With employers looking up the Facebook and Twitter profiles of their employees, a person's private life could result in serious harm to their professional lives. Photos or comments that are deemed inappropriate may result in someone being fired.
Now at 9, we've all heard horror stories of people who, well, they lose their jobs to Facebook posts. Well, here's another one, and you get to decide if this one is over the top. 24-year-old Ashley Payne, well, she was a teacher in Georgia. She was called into the office by her principal after a parent saw these pictures of the teacher holding alcoholic drinks. The principal gave the teacher an option of either resigning or facing a long suspension.
Or perhaps someone might be refused a job in the first place.
Collins decided to return from leave and reclaim his position at the Maryland Department of Public Safety and Correctional Services. The last thing he expected to cloud his future was Facebook. During a reinstatement interview, he was asked for his login and password, purportedly so the agency could check for any gang affiliations. He was stunned by the request.
There have even been cases of people arrested over comments they made on Facebook or tweets they sent.
20-year-old British man will spend 12 weeks in jail after he posted, quote, grossly offensive jokes on Facebook about 2 missing young girls.
So where do we go from here? With the general lack of privacy provided by most social media sites, does this mean that we must become more conservative in what we post? Will the social networking sites that were created to give users a greater freedom of expression result in just the opposite? Do we find new ways of separating our personas by creating multiple accounts and using aliases? Or do these new media warrant new legislation? Only time will tell.